But I just kind of wonder, now that dependability is clearly as big of an issue as it's ever been with KP. You've seen that the Mavericks can beat good teams without KP, and it seems like Luka thrives without him. Do you guys just think they're better off without him?
I won't say without him, but they have to get something for him in the offseason.
So if he just disappeared,
would they get better? No, they would not get better if KP disappeared. Do I think they're better off with getting value, whatever value he has left in this league? And I do think he has some, but not near what the Mavericks think, unfortunately. But I would like to move on from KP because I just don't think he's reliable, as in he's just not going to be healthy enough. The other thing, too, is, I mean, 2 of those wins, the 24-16, you guys remember the Boston game where KP said, hey, I'm probably not a good matchup in this game, so we didn't even play him in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And, Luka had Luka magic happen in that game. The other night, when you beat the Lakers in the first game, KP got hurt. He turned his ankle. And so you had to play the last 15 to 20 minutes of the game without him, and you won that game. So he didn't affect at all, 2 of the wins that I can remember. I'm not saying, it's just tough because now I'm not a KP fan. And I love that trade. But now, as this has progressed in year 3, this is year 2.5 if you want to look at it, this has not worked out at all. In fact, hell, the Knicks are better than us. Mm-hmm. The Knicks, so to this thing, getting rid of KP for the Knicks and building where you're not building around him or relying on KP has helped the Knicks out tremendously with the growth of their franchise. And so I kind of look at it and go, look, we have Luka. New York, I love Julius Randle. He's not close to Luka. So we have Luka. But I think the next step to improve this team is to use KP to get either a player or assets and not ever have to rely on KP in your organization after this season.
In the long run of things, I still think there's time for it, but I don't think we can solely rely that it's him and Luka together.
Can I ask you about how much more time then, if that is the case? Now, well, I know you could argue 4 more years on his max contract, but...
Yeah. The one thing I was thinking about this morning while I was out, Kevin Harlan told us, why don't they ask Phil Jackson how to merge those relationships with those two? Phil Jackson couldn't merge his relationship with this guy. I mean, when I started thinking about it, I was like, holy crap. He had troubles just getting this guy to show up to the last meeting of the year, and he didn't even do it because I don't think the guy – he looks at it as I don't have to abide by the same rules of the business of the NBA as the rest of the guys because somebody's going to want me. Somebody's going to desire me on their team because I'm tall, and I have something that you can't teach, and that's the ability to be tall and shoot from wherever on the court. So – That's where I'm like, I don't know. Maybe he's just going to try to fool franchises forever through his career that he could be that. But I like the idea of having him and another running buddy for a different running buddy for Luka, because I still like some of the things that he can be a mismatch on if you're in a different situation where that running buddy can't be the one to win it.
I think real quick, if KP doesn't like being a number 2, there's no way that he wants to be a number 3. To push him to the Chris Bosh, Kevin Love, whoever, go over the history of Horace Grant, whoever it is. Dude, if he's struggling, I want the ball more, I'm the number 1. Boy, if you got somebody who, let's just say you got DeMar DeRozan, okay? And then you have DeMar DeRozan handling the ball. I think that KP would be and I get it, KP, I'm better than DeMar, but is well, he's going to handle the ball more. That's I think that's another problem with KP that I don't want to deal with, and that is his ego of thinking that he is something super special when throughout his career he's shown he's very inconsistent about showing this specialty.
Okay, you say that, and the league continues to reward him. He was a top 5 pick, and then when he got here, he got a max contract. So like, we certainly understand how he got that kind of special or entitled mentality, right? Because the NBA has told him all along, no, yeah, you're that great.
And see, that's the thing. Like, we talk about load management with Kawhi. He's a number one, right?
And he won a title.
And that's why. He earned it. And that's what I see with KP. Because, Mike, you talk about him wanting to be a number one for who? Like, who are you going to be a number one for if you're not showing up?
I think he would rather be a number one for the Orlando Magic than a number two for the Dallas Mavericks. I think he'd rather win 30 games and be the main guy on a team and go like, I'm going to try to get him to the playoffs, but as long as I'm treated as the number one and the number – that's my opinion.
Yeah,
I have no facts to
of?
back – I think that he is a sourpuss. And I think that he is not a guy who wants to be a – I mean, he's better than a role player. You know, role players are kind of, they contribute here and there. He is a guy that's 20-7 or 8 when he plays on a nightly basis, but he's never going to play on a nightly basis. I mean, in the history, I just don't think he'll ever be able to really be healthy.
So the question isn't, are the Mavs better off without Kristaps Porzingis? It's what is their ceiling with KP really, and is that something that you're okay with?
But see, and that I disagree with.
Their ceiling is
like
the roof.
I hear what you're saying, but the reason why I wanted to pose the question like that is that's why I think it's time to move. Like, and it's time to move on towards something that's even an inferior player that dependability, because this completely discounts the flow of the game and any chemistry that you've developed. Because I got to imagine it's really hard to pitch team chemistry when the person can just walk in and out of the lineup as the first or second option whenever they decide that they feel like playing. So even if I'm downgrading a player, I still say the Mavericks could inherently get better with a worse player that you can count on.
And the tough thing, too, is the Mavericks have tried this year with load management. And he still hurt his back during the snow. He still hurt his wrist at some point. He still rolled his ankle and had to miss games. Then he comes back and his knee is still hurt again. And that was after giving him a few nights off here and there. He's had 4 different injuries this year with still load management.
And because I hear what you're saying there, and I can't argue against that, but I mean, the season is so unique in the way that it's gone, because we can look around the league and we've seen a ton of injuries to a lot of people. So, I mean, you're not going to say that KP's not injury prone in some ways, but that trying to manage it, how much stock do we put in that in this year compared to a more normal season? Would that be more palatable?
No, I put a lot of stock in it, because last year, if you even want to use that was the high water mark for him for the last, 4 years, and he missed 15 games. So, I understand the anomaly of this season, but I don't think we should project that as an anomaly for KP's career.
And it's not in the bubble. We sat him out 3 of the 8 games, and then he got hurt in the playoffs still.